Good morning, everyone. 4:42 a.m. here, and let's look at the markets. Very busy day today. Tomorrow I'm going to give an update and some slight modifications to our $5,000 to $1 million plan, which is actually going really, really well, surprisingly well. Um, I'll show you all that tomorrow. You should register for the webinar. Let's have a look. So let's start with Bitcoin. Okay, this is what we thought was going to happen. It's still 2 hours until the end of the trading day, so we still have this in play. What we have here, extremely low volatility. What this low volatility means is that the market is dead boring. Volatility is how much the market wiggles. If it's wiggling a lot, everyone's super interested. Fear and greed, fear and greed, fear and greed. If it's wiggling just a little bit, not much fear, not much greed. It's like a do something, do something, do something kind of meme. Okay, here's how we play inside days. These are a small edge, not like the strongest edge in the world. We have an inside day. We said this before. We're looking for a breakout one way or the other from this general sideways trading range here. Now, what's that, Zeldy? Now, what does all this mean? This means that roughly we're finding fair value for Bitcoin. After all the excitement of what's it going to be worth after the ETF? Oh, it's crashing. We're about where we were, a couple of weeks before the ETF, and we're in a very, very tight trading range. Once we break out from that trading range, we're going to get a clue. It's going to go this way, or it's going to go this way. We can get clues because we'll get clues from the altcoins. So now let's take a look at total 3, less USD tethers, less USD circles, which is the total market cap of all the altcoins without Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance Coin, because it's stupid coin, without USD tethers and without USD circles. So this is a proxy for the altcoin market. It's very, very useful. And you can see it's the same basic turd rolled in a different color of glitter. We have the same thing, except it's slightly weaker. It hasn't got this big up bar. It hasn't got the big real body. We've slightly broken down to the downside. So we have basically the same thing. Now, what does this day consist of? A bunch of up and down, ending up roughly in the same place we started. Boring, like really, really boring. Now, the way that I'd like you to view the altcoin market right now is this is altcoins. We've been up only for 3 months. That's unsustainable. Coffee. This is unsustainable. We can work off what's called overbought momentum in 2 ways. Through price, we could have crashed and then gone, because this is definitely bull market behavior. There's no other way to interpret this than bull market behavior. The highest probability buy setup for any bull market is the first pullback once you know it's a bull. That's the highest probability. If you bought in October, you might think, oh, I wish I bought back here, but back here, this is a very dicey proposition. I bought here, but maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe you don't have giant nuts. But this buy setup, it still requires some testicular fortitude, right? Okay, so the way that I want you to think about it is if this market starts breaking up and looks like it's going, we have to buy on spec. Above here, it's a slam dunk. And if it goes up towards here, every day that it goes up becomes higher and higher probability. Now, if it goes down, which is actually my preferred thing, I kind of like it to go down. Why? Because I'd love to buy shit down here. It's like the January sales. It's Black Friday for crypto. I want to buy it on sale. This is all this stuff that I missed that's really, really good. Now, let's take a look at what happened on the things that we're watching. We've got maybe 60%, 65% green board. FTT. This is one we're shorting, by the way. Let's just have a little bit of a look. And shorting here. Let's see how our shorts are going. All righty. That FTT trade, we were short from right here all the way at the top. And because we've been averaging out, our average price goes down. I've had laddered bids around here. I've got one more. And let's take a look at what we got banked. We closed that short. Yeah, we closed another fucking $3,500 worth of FTT short. Fuck you, FTT. Now, the rationale for this FTT trade was very simple. Around here, rumors started that they were going to reopen the FTT exchange. That caused price to go up. Price to go up caused a short squeeze because everyone was short FTT because it was a shit coin. Like, it was obvious, like it was worthless. This short squeeze pushed prices far from fair value. And then dumbasses who thought, oh, it's a breakout, I'm going to buy it. They bought it up. They bought it up. They bought it up. We waited until that had played out with our favorite price action setup. Let me teach it to you. Highest high in 10 bars. One or more lower closes, one or more higher closes break the bar low. So we got short here. We would have got out of it here. And we just rode this fucker to the beach. And when do we start taking our positions off? We took off most of the position when they announced that the exchange was not going to open. So our alpha, our reason for being in the trade is that price insensitive traders pushed it far from fair value. Dumbass traders mistakenly saw that as a breakout, and they were hoping that this exchange was going to reopen and this coin was going to be worth something again. Now, the way this works is, let's say that was a 20%, let's say that was a 10% probability. The fair value of the coin is worth $1.30. It's about where it was before. So you've got 90% chance of you've got 90% chance of $1.30, and you've got a 10% chance of it being, say, $20 again. So then when we sum the weighted values of those probabilities, we get to a fair value while that rumor is in play of about $3.17. It's still overvalued. But once we take away, well, let's say it was, a 10% chance of being worth somewhere around, well, around this zone, which was before the crash, which is roughly where everything else got back to, $38. So now we've got a fair value with the rumor in play of $4.97, which is about where it got to. It got to there. Now we know that exchange isn't opening. So now the fair value is back to where it was. It should be worth about $1.30. So once they announced the exchanges and closing, most people are opening their shorts. We're closing our shorts. We had an edge. We took our trade off when the edge was no longer existing. Now, this is the essence of trading. Everyone's, oh, where's my stop loss? Where's my target? Don't worry about that. That's bullshit. Do you have an edge? What's your fucking edge? We have an edge here. Now, which brings me to my next point. We have a trade here. This is BSV. Now, let's just look at it on a longer time frame. This is a fake Bitcoin. It's a fork of Bitcoin Cash, and they convince people that this fake guy, this Monopoly Man guy, is Satoshi Nakamoto. He's not. He's like clearly not. Like I've been around scammers my whole life, and he looks like a scammer. He acts like a scammer. He's got a history of scamming. He lodged 71 fake documents in his court trial. He's a scammer. But all these guys think that he's going to be declared to Satoshi Nakamoto in the English High Court this week, and this is going to go back up to there. They think that. Rational people think this. So again, we've got some of these. We've got some of these probability things that we've got. I don't know what the chances of him winning are. Like like courts are noisy. It all comes down to one guy. Maybe he bullshits the judge. Maybe you know, he's got a small probability of a massive win, which is a lottery ticket win. Now, I want you to think about generally, people will overpay for lottery ticket wins. In addition, we have some price action supporting thing. This is clearly FOMO buying, right? FOMO buying is generally done by idiots. Pros don't FOMO into anything. So we've got idiots pushing the price up. We've got cult members, because it really is a cult, refusing to sell. Yesterday, I put out an alert to sell if it dropped below the daily low here. We're going to move that up to sell if it gets below here. This is a very, very good trade. Now, I want you to look at the volatility position. This indicator, average true range percent, very useful. You can use other volatility indicators, but this one for a home trader is pretty useful. And you can see that volatility goes in waves, and those waves statistically are quite predictable. Right here, we have the lowest volatility since before all this shit kicked off. That's a good sign. When markets get super boring, they're generally about to wake up. And once they start waking up from a low base, they tend to continue to wake up. And you'll see this time and again. This is very boring. Once it starts to wake up, holy shit, it continued to wake up. Direction unknown, by the way. And you can see this as far back as you want to see. You picture this is the lowest volatility that we had. It started to wake up and fuck yeah, it continued to wake up in the direction of the trend. Okay, so we have an edge here. The edge is there's a court case going on. When that court case is resolved, there's a bunch of uncertainty. There's a bunch of uncertainty. There's a lottery ticket in play. Once that court case is resolved, there's no more uncertainty. There's no one cares about this guy anymore. He's just a scammer. So we short this until the case is over. He's going to lose. Slam dunk. He's going to lose. I have a law degree, by the way. Not that I ever practiced or could practice, but I mean, he's not going to have a fun day in the English High Court. So this is a great short for us. Really, really, really great short. What else do we have short? We have BLZ. Okay. BLZ was one of the very strongest coins. We saw signs of market manipulation on the way up, very clear signs of market manipulation on the way up. And that tells us that it was pushed far from fair value. We see what we always see, which is the candles getting smaller and smaller. This is the little engine that couldn't. Trying. And every one of these upper wicks is people who own the coin selling out into it. Every time it buys, people sell out into it. Now, I want you to imagine there's only so many buyers and so many sellers. Buyers push it up, sellers push it down. Buyers push it up, sellers push it down. Treat this like a war of attrition. At one point, one side gets tired or injured, and they've just got no more ammunition left. And you can see here the telltale signs that just starting to go, and see this super small candle here. These were the clues. these super small candles. We doubled down. This is our largest short. It dumped, and after any dump, this probably pushed it far from fair value, and we can expect a pushback, and we've got a pushback. Here we had an attempt to drive the market down and an attempt to drive the market up. What this candle today did is an outside bar. An outside bar is a bar with a higher high and a lower low than the previous bar. These are quite rare. You don't see, if we go back, this was the last one. So these don't happen all the time. So what these are is a harbinger of the change of trend. Why? Because they are replacing all the guys who bought here who got a pretty good deal with guys who bought here who were nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. So what this does is introduces fragility to the market. Highly confident this one's going to tank. You can short this again. Now, what else have we got short? Jupe. Jupe is a very, very good coin. Great coin. It's a Solana DEX. Solana's the hot shit. They hyped it. People overpaid it, expecting the airdrop. They overpaid for it, expecting the airdrop. They're expecting this thing to go to $5. We shorted right here, which I think was late. Rode it down to here. We banked some profits when it started to go. Wrote out this. We still got half the position on. What does this look like for us? We've only got quarter of a position now. We banked most of it. It's still heavily in profit for a, we're 50% in profit. Not bad at all. What else do we have on GMX? So GMX, we're slightly in profit, neither here nor there. This one, if it gets back to our break-even point, we're probably going to jump. Let's have a look at it on a proper chart. Super low volatility. This is a sign that it's going to break one way or the other. When we see movement with this, if that movement is up here, we're going to jump straight away. If that movement is down here, we're going to add to the position. Now, one thing I will say very clearly to you is, for those discretionary traders out there, you'll know you're a good trader when you're willing to add to a winning position. Most people add to losing positions. Losers add to losers. Don't add to losing positions. That's a fucking dumbass thing to do. When you've got a winning position, fuck yeah, add. When you've got a winning position, when your thesis is right, when it's all going your way, you add to it. Okay, so let's look at our watch list and let's see what went up and what went down. Tau, extremely strong coin. Okay. Why is this different than all the others? Because we're at the highest price it's ever traded. Very different psychology. There's zero bag holders. How do you feel if you bought it here and it's trading here? You're a bit butthurt. Here, you've got a lottery ticket in the pocket. It went to $400, it could go to $4,000. Who the fuck knows? That's a great coin. I'm not holding it. Pendle, we are holding this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this one is just knocking on the door. So we have very strong uptrend. Highest price ever paid it. Today, we're going to be, with 2 hours to go, we're going to have the highest closing price ever traded. Is it breaking out of this channel? Let's have a look. Depending on how you draw the channel, and these are not exact science things, looks like once we break out of here on a closing basis. So it's nothing to touch the top of it's something. Like touching the top of a channel, there's always sellers. And we had some sellers at the top of the channel who pushed it down to here, and then the buyers jump back in. This one looks like it's going to run. This is a fucking great coin. Really, really great coin, great price action, all-time highs, breaking the top of a channel. Now, when you get a channel is technically a weakening trend. A weakening trend can do two things. The first thing that it can do and usually does is break down the bottom and then re-go again. Why? Because in any uptrend, there's always guys over here and they are butthurt. They are really butthurt that I wanted to buy it here, but I thought it was too expensive. I wanted to buy it here. It was too expensive. I wanted to buy it. They're waiting for a pullback. Those guys will go ka-ching right here if it pulls back. But once we get an overthrow of the channel, what happens there? God, that sounds awful. These guys go, I'm never getting a fucking pullback. I've waited months. There's no fucking pullback. What the fuck? It overthrows to the top and they are forced to buy. So when we get a top side overthrow of the channel, this is two things that you can conclude. The first is it's probably going to be much stronger. It's not this like choppy bullshit that we see here. It's probably going to be pretty fucking strong, like this. The second thing we can conclude is it's going to cause FOMO. FOMO is caused at the end of moves, not at the start. So you want to be, so once it goes, you're going to get a fast, exciting, hella yes move, but you probably don't want to hold for too long because that FOMOs people in. What does FOMO people do? We have buyers and sellers keeping the price in equilibrium. We have guys on the sideline watching, going, if it gets too cheap, I'll buy it. If it gets too expensive, I'll sell it. They flip their psychology. They go from, if it gets too expensive, I'll sell it. If it gets too cheap, I'll buy it, to, fuck, it's too expensive. I have to buy it now because I'm going to miss out. Once they jump in and FOMO in, boy, off to the races. This creates two things. It creates very explosive price action and it creates a temporary exhaustion of buying pressure that sellers can later take advantage of. So usually that looks like a bigger pullback and then set up to go again. Okay, let's look at what else is interesting. This is a clear trading range. No opinion. Woo. This will go the direction of market. This is a perfectly plausible buying scenario, right? Perfectly plausible dip to buy on any technical basis and a rational basis. It got to 55 cents. It's down to it's down at support here. That's a perfectly like rational thing to buy. If the market goes up, this one's probably going to go here. I suspect it's going to pull back further into this. And again, we're watching for this lowest volatility situation. Anytime you get a lowest volatility situation, you know two things. First thing is everyone's sick of this market. It's so boring. I can't even be bothered. The second thing is you should be following it and checking for which direction the breakout happens when this happens. Okay, super. This one could break out if the market goes. I think it's going to get a larger pullback. LDO is an ETH related thing. Another inside day. Matic, okay. Ethereum, strong. Let's look at Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. Whoa, there you go. There you fucking go. Let's just take a look at, okay. So our short portfolio, we're long Ethereum against Bitcoin, by the way. Flip is one I've been following. Trading range, nothing to it. Don't. BLZ, we've already covered. FIL, great coin, strong thing. This could be a bottom. If it goes up, when this goes up, we'll be jumping in. So we're stalking a few potential. Not quite ready, DYDX. Flocky, stupid. Again, we're looking for an increase in volatility to show us the direction. CFX, Solana. I think, I mean, this could go. But the odds are No, I don't think that's fair to say. This move up off the lows is exactly what you would see in the start of a new leg up. Solana, I got to take a little look at today. I'm just making some notes. Okay. Now, one thing I might cover when we're here is don't be screen watching all day. What happens when you screen watch all day and you watch this is your subconscious brain cannot distinguish between making a decision and looking at a chart. So if you hold a position and you keep watching it, to your subconscious, that's a constant stream of should I sell? Should I buy? Should I buy? Should I sell out? Should I stay or should I go now? And it's incredibly, incredibly emotionally fatiguing. Incredibly. What happens then is if you own Solana and you've been watching it all day and it goes down a bit, you'll go, I don't know, because my brain's fried. And then you give it one more day. And then you go, oh, I've really thought about it. I think I should give it one more day. And then it goes down a bit more. And it goes down a bit more. And then you're stuck. And then it's like that old Bronx Tale gangster movie where the bikers are in the bar and they refuse to leave. And then the mob guy locks the door and says, now you can't leave. And that's what happens and everyone's experienced that. So let's look at a few more orbs, shitcoin, but still very low volatility. Boy, very low volatility. This is a manipulated coin. Got to be a bit careful here. We're going to trade in the direction of the manipulation with Orb. Arkham, we bought this here looking for a breakout, sold out like at the perfect top. And look, we're back at volatility lows. This is the type of thing. ADA, same thing. Boy, this market could jam here or it could crash here. And we're waiting for clues. Let's look at the things that we looked at yesterday. Gal. Okay. We might be getting a little bit of not quite. Now let's look at near. Okay, so near, I wanted to know yesterday if it broke that daily high. If it breaks this high, we're going to buy this thing on spec, knowing that it's a lower probability buy. But look at the character of these moves. This is very smooth and steady on the way up and a little bit, and instead of going down, it went sideways. Smooth and steady on the way up. And look, it's choppy. It's fighting for every inch on the downside. Picture this like a beach ball pushed under the water. You let go in it. So we're waiting for that, and we're going to get long near. INJ, again, lowest volatility since anyone had ever heard of this thing, which is way back here. I want to see it start to attract a bit. So let's talk about that a little minute. Just buying shit because you like it isn't so good unless you've got a statistical basis for it. What you really want to do is I want to see other cunts buying it too. How do we know? Because it's going to start to break daily highs. So instead of buying it now as cheap as we can possibly get it, I'd rather pay, right now it's 31.42. I'd rather pay 32.78, but have a higher probability of it continuing to go up. That's a good trick, by the way. SCI, fantastic coin, fantastic price action. Let me remove these drawings because they're old. Lowest volatility ever again. We want to see direction go. RLB, you've been a disappointment, my friend. You know, we were in like 10 cents, got to 28 cents. It's been a disappointment. It's heavily manipulated coin. Mina, you don't want to touch this at all. Jasmine, it's like every other coin. Tia, boy, this could be a fascinating short. Tia is a coin I want to own, right? I bought it at $6, sold it out between 10 and 13, and then it kept going. I sold out too early. I thought I was getting cute, and I played myself. This is a little short-term sell signal. Highest high in 10 days, one or more lower closes, one or more higher closes, break the bar low. So we have a confirmed sell signal in TIA. How would you handle that if you own some TIA, which I happen to don't because I sold all mine. I want to own more. I just want it for $10. I think we'll get TIA for $10. And I think that would be one of the buys of the cycle. $10 TIA, fucking all over it. I'd load up the truck, buy 100 grand worth in a second. If I want to get cute, try and make 20 or 30 grand on the way down, and use that 20 or 30 grand to flip long, like a sneaky ass, like get cute with it. Okay, so once it breaks the bar low, we like the coin a little less from the long side, a little more from the short side. Remember, none of that stuff about stops and targets and shit like that. The market doesn't care or know anything at all about that bullshit. We have only two elements in a trade. How much do we like it? Compared to when? Compared to fucking yesterday. I like this trade from the long side a little less than yesterday. I like it from the short side a little more than yesterday. And how much risk do we want to take? Well, the volatility is very low. It's hardly wiggling at all. If we were around here, I'd be able to make an accurate assessment. But one of the things that we know is that coins from low volatility can spike very high. So I'd be a little bit cautious about loading up the truck from this until, if it starts to go down, we would take that. What else have we got? Link, so strong. Okay. Some things you need to know. Once a market makes the highest closing high in a long time, closing high for the year, closing high ever, not just sticking its nose up above the parapet, like actually closing there, tells us that the market's accepted this new high. That new high is a reality. It's worth that. Now, this is probably an unsustainable rise. We can reasonably expect a pullback back to around there just because it's not so easy to make money and it's been pretty easy for the link guys. I want to load up the truck between here, and here, and here, and here. We may not get that. Butterfly. Oh no, that's not the thing I want to show. And anything else I want to look at? Well, I'm here. Kudos. Let's look at it. The KuCoin trade. The guys who are holding this in our group, fucking good on you guys. I like it more here. I'm happy to wait to 15, 16 cents to buy rather than try and get it for 13 cents. Because right now, it's probably a 60%, maybe 62% chance of just bullshitting off and going for broke. You can see that the volatility is just starting to break up to the upside. And this is very smooth to the upside. This is great. This is a wonderful looking chart. If we got something like this, I would be happy to buy it on a pullback. There's no signs of that yet, but it becomes higher probability. Instead of 60-40, becomes 70-30 up here. I'd rather wait for 70-30. 3 cents for an extra for an extra odds. What do we got? Okay, what haven't we seen? What haven't we seen? What haven't we seen? AVAX. This move off the lows is quite nice. I want to get interested above here. So again, we're going to add an alert. You draw a little line in TradingView. You right click and you go add an alert, and I go once per minute, and it annoys me when this happens. So it just annoys me into acting. WLD shitcoin, but it looks Here we go. We got to pay attention to these. Like this is a day to pay attention. When markets are boring, you want to pay attention because no one else is, right? This is the time to pay attention. Let's have a quick look at cake. Same deal. Lena. Okay, now, so overall, I'm getting a feeling that we should be paying attention to this market. Bearish coins, Stellar Lumen, Lena, XRM, bullish, Link, TRX, and CSTO. Okay. Let's take a look at FinRev position. Before we do, I gotta, oh, not that. Okay, so FinRev is still just going sideways. So it hasn't closed for the day. So 85. It's just going sideways. It's doing nothing, which is exactly what you'd expect it to do. Let's look at Bitcoin is a cautious buy. It came down to here, and we've been adding position there. Let's look at Solana, which is half a position. A normal position is 10. 5.7 is half a position. AVAX, neutral. You can see why FinRev hasn't been losing money like everyone else. Everyone else is losing money right now. Like it's choppy as fuck. FinRev hasn't been losing money. Why? Because it's got some longs and some shorts. Let's look at XLM. I mean, that's really, I mean, lately it's been going down, but that's a really choppy chart. What was, you can always get this positioning, by the way. You can see what my automated systems are doing at stats.scottphillipstrading.forecast. And um, let's just take a quick look. Let's pull this up for you. Okay, so let's just see. We are trading currently, we're about $4.5 million here. And this is the total balances over the last 90 days, right? Binance, blue, BitGet, red, Bybit, wow, half the thing. DYDX, you can see DYDX is on the rise. I really, really like this exchange. And KuCoin, a relatively small place to pay. So those of you who want to know about like which exchange, Bybit is the most popular choice. Binance, we have some very big accounts. DYDX on the rise. BitGet and KuCoin little bit players. I guess that's the way that I would describe it. And what are our largest positions today? Our largest positions are TRX and BTC DOM. So let's look at, wow. Wow. I mean, that's a fucking trade, right? Like TRX shitcoin. I hate the coin. I hate the guy. I hate everything about it. Got long here. Maxed out the position by here, and we've stayed long, trimmed a little bit here, but we're at 13. That's a strong buy, and we're at all-time highs. Like we got long here, and we're still long here. Fuck, that's fucking good. I never would have picked that one in a million years. Bitcoin dominance. Now this is interesting. We got long here. That actually, so sometimes sometimes my internal dashboards, the data isn't as accurate as the actual FinRev dashboards, but it's fast. So these are the actual FinRev dashboards. So this is the actual FinRev dashboards. We've got long here and small long position. It must be a large position because it's a low volatility thing. I get it. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Let's have a look at the short side. Our biggest short position is Waves and XRP and GMT. Let's look at Waves. Let's look at 3 months. Okay, so we got short here, still short. That's a nice short position. And you can see that, from the 6th of February, it was 24.74. The day before it was 24.40. The day before it was 20.15. So because you have so many positions, we've got like 100 positions, right? You're not like jamming all the way in and then all the way out. You're just trimming up and trimming down. You're like just trimming the sales a little bit. That's a nice trade. What else have we got? Waves, XRP, GMT. XRP. Let's have a look at XRP. So you can see we got short here. Pretty good trade, nothing special, like we're making money. And this is like a $90,000 account I'm showing you. And I show you this one because it's got the longest history. This was like the first account. This is the first client account we added. I don't want to show my own accounts because it's unrealistic because I was making money off this before you guys had ever heard of it. So that's like bullshitty. I want to show you like what actual clients make money on. So you can see that we're trimming between 2,500 and 2,200. We sold about $300. We added about $300 the day before. We sold about $500 the day before. That's the kind of thing that happens with FinRev. Like, this is the way that you want to trade. Why? Because here's our portfolio, and let's sort it by size. You can see these are the sizes of our positions. We've got 4 longs, 2 shorts, a long, couple of shorts. I wouldn't say we're 50-50 balanced. I'd say we're probably 60-40 balanced. Well, can I really say that? Pretty evenly balanced, right? Like it's evenly balanced. Trading is an 80-20 activity. We've got 100 positions, but the biggest one is 12 grand, 4 grand. If you just took the top 20%, they'd be 80% of it. And, we're down to $500 positions that don't really matter by the time then. Let's look at what the trade history did yesterday. A little bit of trimming up, a little bit of trimming down, barely. And, we're just playing around the edges. Like that's the way that FinRev works. If you want to trade this way, it has huge advantages. The advantage is, well, first of all, you can't fuck it up. Second of all, you get it smooth. Now, let me show you something. This is the bear market. Of course, we made money in the bear market, which is the big advantage of FinRev. Trend following makes great money in bear markets, makes it in a different way. It goes sideways a long fucking time, like a long fucking time. And then it makes a shit ton really quickly. Then a little slow bleed and it goes sideways. And this is the bull market. You can see that bull markets don't do this. Bull markets do a slow grind up. Why? Because greed is a comfortable emotion and fear is a terrifying emotion, and markets take the ladder. The markets take the stairs up and the elevator down. And when we tend to get positioned short, and then they take the elevator down. Here, the best indicator we have is how is FinRev behaving. We've got this characteristic sideways period, just like we had here. This is the best time of all to invest in FinRev. Why? Because your risk is lower. Trend following always has these ups then sideways periods. The best time is here. The best time is not here. Like I know I'll tell you guys, like the best time to invest in FinRev is when it's making money, and that's when you all invest in it. This is the best time. This is the best time. This is the best time. This is not the best time. Now, these sideways periods And in bull markets, they're an average of 19 to 31 days. In bear markets, they're an average of 128 to 162 days. That's one standard deviation either way. So that's the big difference between bull and bear markets. What else can I show you? I think that's about it for today, guys. I'm holding this time, 24 hours, I'm holding a presentation on our 5K to 1 million plan, big update. I've got a bunch of really cool stuff to share with you that I'm working on that you guys haven't seen before. I think it's really cool. I think you should. I think you should come along. I'll post a link with this video. I'll see you there. Cool. Enjoy your day.